It's a relaxing day on the Explorer of the Seas. It's day number 2 on our 5-night Western Caribbean out of Miami on the Explorer of the Seas. Kind of taking a look up on deck here. This is going to be kind of a longer video than normal for me. I packed quite a few pictures into this one. We're going to take a look at some of the staterooms and other areas of the ship. So if you've never been on the Explorer, but you're thinking about doing a cruise on there, this will give you an idea of some of the parts of the ship that you might be interested in. I want to apologize for the quality of the pictures. This was back in 2005, and I didn't have the most advanced camera back then. Some of the newer ships have more than one rock wall, but this one, being from 99, is kind of an older one of the ships compared to like the Oasis and the Quantum class. This particular one had like a little miniature golf course going on and a little roller skating track. One thing to keep in mind is that these ships typically go into a dry dock every 5 years, and this was, back in 2005, so I have no idea what the ship looks like now. They may have taken some of these areas and replaced them with other things to make better use of the valuable real estate on the ship. I'm not really sure, but back when we were on it in 2005, this is what it looked like. This will give you an idea of some of the impressive artwork that's on the ship kind of throughout. Pictures, paintings, actual pieces of art like vases and things like that kind of all over the ship. So now we take a look at the stateroom. Now, this was an inside cabin. On the cruises since then, we started doing ocean view balcony. There I am, checking my laptop. Notice out the TV, and it is 2005, so keep that in mind. I got my tux rental there. It's actually very easy to rent a tux on one of these cruises, and I've done that a couple times, so that's actually something you might consider. But we typically do ocean view balcony, but back then on this particular cruise, we had started off with the stateroom and interior stateroom to try to keep the cost down. And you'll notice the lack of power outlets there on the left. Those are about all you get for the entire cabin. Now, they're getting better at that from what I've seen on videos of newer ships, but back then, power outlets inside the stateroom were definitely a problem. So now it's time for a party on the promenade. The different ships do different things. We've been on quite a few of these cruises over the years, and we've seen all different types of parties and events on the promenade. And on a 5 or a 7 night cruise, they'll typically do something on the promenade at least probably 2, maybe 3 times, depending on the cruise and the length. This guy right here was, I guess, one of the crew members who's sort of a comedian. This was always one of the neat things, to come back to your stateroom and you see where the stateroom attendant had taken one of the towels and turned it into some sort of little, piece of art. So this part of the ship right here is some kind of thing they were doing with NOAA, I guess to keep an eye on the oceans or something like that, monitoring the oceans. I don't know if that ship still has that equipment or still does that, but it did back then in 2005. We thought that was pretty cool. So now we make our way into the main dining room, and one of the features of these ships, this class of ship, and several others like them, they have the big 3-story main dining room. And this was back, before they started doing this My Time dining. You really only had 2 options, either a 5:30 or an 8:30 dining room seating. And it was also one of those things where you got a chance to meet new people at the start of the cruise, because you were essentially going to be sitting with them at the same big 8, 10, 12 person table for the entire cruise. So now we move into the Chamber. This was the nightclub on the ship, and to me this was a good model of how the other ships should have done it. After this cruise, of course, we've been on a bunch of different classes of ships, and on the Oasis class, I want to specifically call them out for their lack of design. The nightclubs on the Oasis class ships are horrible compared to this right here. I think this should have been the model they did on the Oasis. They certainly have plenty of room, but on the Oasis class, at least on the Allure and the Oasis, the 2 ships that we have been on so far, the nightclub on there seemed to be kind of an afterthought. Thank you very much for watching that video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. And if you haven't already subscribed, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon so you can be notified when I post a new video.